Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to this week's property news. I say this every single week, but this has been one of the busiest weeks on the channel. So before we start this, I'd like to thank you if you're a subscriber of the channel, or even if you just watch on a regular basis. We've had a record number of subscribers this week, thousands, literally thousands of new subscribers. We had a video that did 160,000 views so far this week. And we just haven't been able to keep up with all the comments and interactions. That video alone had 5,000 comments. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you all of the news that you might have missed out on this week. We're going to talk about council tax and stamp duty being abolished. We're going to talk about asking prices dropping at record pace. We're going to talk about selective licensing getting considerably more expensive in some areas. We've got inflation data and much, much more on the Renters' Rights Bill as well. So if you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. At the rate we're going at, if it carries on like this, we might hit 50,000 subscribers by next week, which normally we go up about 1,000 a month. So do subscribe and hit the bell. And let's get some more views on this video. Your part is simple. All you need to do is smash like, tick or like, do something to that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really has helped the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So what a week. A lot's going on. A lot of controversial stuff. We went viral with our first video this week, as we said, and that was for a genuine reason that a lot of people were very frustrated with what we are talking about. And so the government has leaked to the media something that they are considering at the moment, and it's called the house value tax. Now, in the comments, 5,000 of them, which we're trying to get through at the moment. Normally, I reply to all the comments. I've had to get my assistant to help me with this because there's just so many. But most of the comments, I would say 98% of the comments say it's ridiculous what Labour are proposing. A lot of you say this is just like poll tax, and this is what brought down the Thatcher government, and this could bring down Labour as well. But there are a small minority of people who say, look, this is a good thing, and this is going to tax the rich people. So what are they proposing? Well, they are proposing on house sales, so new sales above 500k, rather than paying stamp duty, you would pay an annual tax of 0.54% of the value of your property. Now, that means that lots of people under that level wouldn't pay that. Now, they might, in that scenario, we're waiting for more clarification, continue to pay stamp duty, or they might have a different method for that. But I don't think they're just going to abolish stamp duty on those lower end properties, because that's a huge volume of properties. But higher end properties, it's effectively a mansion tax. They're saying you'll pay 0.54% annually. So it's a property tax instead of stamp duty. And then you would be taken off of council tax as well. Now it goes up quite a lot. So if the property is over $1 million, which does seem like a lot, but there are lots of properties in London for that, then the property would have 0.81%, so nearly 1% tax annually. I gave an example of a £6 million house. In that scenario, they would be paying £43,000 a year in council tax. Now, a lot of people said, well, boo for them, like they have this big, beautiful house, but council tax is for the services that you get. They're not costing the council more money to take away the bins or to fix the road. And so a lot of people say this will create a big north-south divide. I ask you to go and watch that video. It's the biggest video we've had so far this year. I'll link it in the comments, I think, because I think it's important to go and check that one out. Next, selective licensing. Don't panic, I have more pens coming. So selective licensing is a tool that local councils use in order to bring up the quality of accommodation in their area. And so what happens is a landlord will pay a license fee. Some places it's 500, some places it's £1,000. And that license can go from 1 year to 5 years. It varies by council. And previously, councils had to apply to central government to be able to run this kind of scheme. At Christmas, we found that they sneaked through some legislation allowing all councils to do this. A lot more councils have cottoned on and they're starting to charge licenses to landlords because it's effectively free money for them. And Hackney Council was doing this for £500 a year. They've just increased it to £925. That's a massive increase, nearly double. And what ultimately happens is this gets charged to tenants as higher rent. So I have experience with selective licensing in Hastings. I don't have it in Dorking. I don't have it in Doncaster, but I do have it in Hastings. And in Hastings, my experience, which some of you disagree with, and I'd like to know if you have a selective license, what your experience was. My experience was I went on a website, I ticked a load of boxes saying that I was a fit and proper person and that I've got everything in order and I haven't committed any fraud. And then I paid my money. Nobody came to look at my property. And that ultimately means that property isn't necessarily any better. It's just a revenue generating exercise and more tax. Hackney have doubled the price. Others will probably follow suit. So keep an eye on that. We'll share that as and when more information comes out. Let's talk inflation. Inflation, let me see. I have got one last pen here. Let's get this one out because that is terrible. Sorry. So, inflation has gone up. We knew it was going up. How much has it gone up? Well, it's gone up quite a lot. It's gone from 3.6% to 3.8% in just a month. We know it's likely to go above 4%. Now, this is a property channel. Why does this matter? It matters because it's going to have a big impact on mortgage rates. It's going to slow down the downward trend that we've had with mortgage rates recently. They're going to wait and see what happens. And this is frustrating for a lot of people that really don't want to pay these higher mortgage rates. So that's something we've got to keep an eye on. What happens with inflation? Inflation is likely to keep going up to hit that 4%. And that means your rates aren't going to go down. Next, renters' rights. With all of these, we've done some more detailed videos. Renters' rights, there's a few things on this. I did a video on 4 things you may not know about the Renters' Rights Bill as a landlord and the impact that's going to have on you, and also if you're a tenant as well, the impact that this ultimately will have on you. And one of the things in that video, there are 4, so go and check out the full video, is the database. Now, the database will be created once the Renters' Rights Bill is active and law. Some company that probably has a connection to some of the MPs will charge an extortionate fee to build this database. Then it will be delayed. Then they'll get even more money to build this database. You know how these government projects normally go. And then landlords will be required to register on the database. And a consequence of not doing that is that you will get fined some of the new fines that are in the Renters' Rights Bill that start at £7,000. Now, of course, you'll get a chance. They will send maybe a warning letter or 2, but you have to get in there. Some people might not have their contact details up to date as a landlord, so it's important that you have all the details up to date in the right place. You keep an eye on channels like mine, subscribe. That will help you know when this happens. You need to register. It's not going to be loads of money. It's going to be about 100 quid or less to register, but you must do that. And also this database will be searchable, so people will be able to see if you've got your gas safe up to date and all this kind of stuff, or if you've had any problems as well. So it's going to be like Trustpilot for landlords. Not great, but we can't get around it, and that's ultimately happening. So that's something to keep an eye on. What about asking prices? These aren't looking great either. So house prices at the moment are still fairly strong, and that's because there's a lag in the data. For a market to go down, it starts at the asking price, and we're seeing that back to back now. This month, just this month, asking prices were down 1.3%. That's a big chunk, and that really, really is something that we've got to keep an eye on. If that carries on, ultimately that means house prices are going to drop, doesn't it? Because people in this market, it is a buyer's market, they're unlikely, very unlikely to offer above asking, unless it's a very sought after property in an area that doesn't have much property for sale. But that's not most of the UK at the moment. Used to be central London. Central London is really tumbling at the moment because the ultra rich people aren't investing in London currently. So asking prices are down. That equates to $5,000 down. We had $5,000 down last month as well. So we're 10 grand down on asking prices in just 2 months. Not great. The other big video that we did was, again, the renters' rights. And this was about CCJs and the impact that the renters' rights bill is ultimately going to have on tenants. It's not all good news for tenants. One of the things that they're looking to get rid of is Section 21. That's one of the biggest parts of the renters' rights bill. Now, a Section 21 notice is a no-fault eviction. And quite often, if you serve a Section 21, you don't have to have your day in court. The tenant ultimately leaves within the 2 months and everyone is not maybe happy, but it moves that process along. Now, in those scenarios, quite often tenants might be in arrears. They might have damage that equates to more than the actual property deposit is. And so a lot of landlords just write that off. They can't be bothered to chase because it takes so long. And that means that the tenant gets to move on to the next property and not have any CCJs. When you take out the Section 21, the only way to get the property back then is through a Section 8. Now, they might change the name of that, but ultimately, right now, it stands as a Section 8. That's a fault eviction. And that could be for various reasons as well. You want to get the property back to sell. You've got rental arrears. You've got antisocial behaviour. You've got all sorts of damage to the property. These things are reasons you can get the property back. But if there is rent arrears and it goes through that process and then the judge says that person is in rental arrears, that's not great. That means they will get a CCJ. That means they will struggle to get credit cards, loans, a mortgage in future, cars. All of this stuff will impact their credit rating severely. And that isn't what the renters' rights bill is meant to be about. So what you'll see is more people getting CCJs because of this renters' rights bill. Now, landlords might think that that's good. Potentially, it is good because if you go through an estate agent and they do all the references for you, it will flag the people that have CCJs, and ultimately you can ask the question what it was about, and that will tell you whether that person was a problem tenant. And let's be honest, if you get someone with a CCJ and someone without, which one are you more likely to pick? It's going to be the one without the CCJ for sure. So look, it's a busy week. Go and comment on that house value tax video. Let's get 6,000 comments on it. But look, that's probably one of the biggest things that we've talked about this week. There's tons of content that we've got to shoot for next week already. There's so much news out there that I haven't had a chance to make content for. So subscribe and hit the bell so you know on all about what's going on. Do also, if you haven't done, make sure you grab Mortgage Secrets, how to get the best mortgage deal in 2025. I've linked to it in the description below. It's absolutely packed with information on how to find the best broker, when to start your mortgage process, how to get the best deal. Do you check the comparison sites? Are there off-market sites that you should check as well? It's got all of that in. 1,800 of you have grabbed that, so do click below to grab that now. Do also check out all the other content, over 1,000 videos on the channel now, including this video right here.